passion is photography and digital design. It's been my passion since I was little, and I recently have joined the OCBTS program to learn more about photography, and it's actually made me finally realize what I want to do with my life, and it's photography, commercial photography and fashion photography, but just regular photography in general. It's so fun.
I'm looking to start my own company, my own brand, I guess you could say, because my dad owns a DJ company and he gets a lot of weddings. I've been to quite a few with him, so I just want to get more involved with taking over my own weddings, not having to go through someone. That's my dad too, so. But that way I can go through some myself and just make good money doing what I want to do. And it tells a story in itself. The wedding day, two people getting together, two families coming together. It's a great environment to be in. I've been to a few and I enjoyed every single one.
I really like taking pictures of people. In the end, the goal for me is concerts.
Probably to be either an independent or working for a company as a graphic design artist.
Well, when I create art, I hope to tell a story where many people overlook so much, and the stories that are about the situations like I am in as an autistic person who had gone through many challenges in life, to find a place where I belong and to find people who accept me for me.
OCC. They do reviews with professionals, and sometimes you don't get what you want, and it's definitely an interesting outcome, and it's interesting to see everyone else's work and what they do and what they have done in vocational school or at their home school, and it's just a good collective just to compare everything and look at different types of art.
Did you get comments back about your work?
Yes, I did, and it was not the greatest. I was a little confused. They were very strung up on the title of my piece because apparently it was the title of a TV show that I didn't know existed. So they pretty much rated it on the title besides that from the piece. So I really didn't take that one to heart, but it was definitely interesting to see how much that could impact a piece in general.
I love learning new things, like hands-on. I love that. Like anything that I make and I could say that I did that and I made it and it's one of a kind and it's an art piece. That's what I really like about photography. It's a very independent job, and I'm a very independent person, and it just kind of helps me just strive more in what I like to do. Photography is just so fun to me. I'm going to college for it. It's literally so fun. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun.
Started, it was kind of going in blind and just more so taking pictures and just getting highlight content and not really forming a story until recently, coming here, learning what I did, and then through coming here, I was able to get a job with a professional wedding videographer and photographer, and he taught me his whole storyline, his whole editing process. So now I'm actually able to formulate stories. In the past 2 weddings I've gone to, got all the content I needed, and I'm going to formulate my own story so I could, brand that and eventually book my own wedding.
And when I came here to OCBTS, I was willing to learn. I'm a very inquisitive person, and I wanted to expand my knowledge and not only just do animation, but also graphic design and eventually game development. And I love how I got to experience with different types of things, such as with print shop with Mr. E. I got to make my own t-shirt, make stickers, and photography. I was surprised at myself that I was naturally good, that I had an eye for like stunning pictures.
I recently just got a job at Hard Rock Cafe, like setting up concerts. So I hope from there that I could help STEM to taking pictures there instead.
Yeah. My mom actually went to the book program for photography when it was in Tom's River. And then she went to college, and then after college she found out that she really just wanted to do photography like she did at Vogue. And she's done all this like beach photography. It's mostly sea glass photography, collecting sea glass, prints, canvases, just everything she does. And yeah, and she opened up her own store, and now she sells it out of there. And she sells like canvases or something new every week. She's always got something going on.
I know it's like not like your typical 401k retirement plan type job, but people are getting married every day. And you know, what better place to be than at a party, getting free food and just seeing people having fun, you know? It's not even like, doesn't feel like work when I'm there, so, and especially the fact now that I get to work with my dad, it's awesome, so can't beat it.
When I first came to OCBTS, I just liked photography and like photoshopping like images on top of other images, but now I have a more specific idea of what I want to do with my life with photography wise, like commercial and fashion photography, working with celebrities or just working with big companies and taking pictures for them. Like to me, like that includes like traveling, and like one of the things I love to do is travel, and I would not be like afraid to like go to Rome and like take pictures of like the Vogue like fashion like designers and like all those people. Like it's so cool.
That's another thing that brings joy too, because it'll be something that's not just watched once, you know, it could be watched every year on their anniversary or something like that, you know. So yeah, it's definitely something that I'm interested in, and gives me joy because I get to bring joy to people for years to come.
To do concert photography, to like travel with like a specific artist and be like their designated photographer.
You want to travel with the band?
Ooh, that sounds nice.
You're going to hang from the chandeliers and break all the furniture in the hotel room and throw it in the pool?
Don't plan on doing that.
Oh, okay. What kind of music do you like?
Mostly like alternative. And like Taylor Swift.
I've done a lot of graphic design work already myself in my school and clubs and other things like that, and I just hope to continue it and show off my work, and either independently or as I said for a company, whatever works out.
I do plan to go to Ocean County Community College and pursue my education in 3 fields, which is graphic design, animation, and game development. Then once I get my associate's degree there, I will be moving to Full Sail University in Florida to pursue my bachelor's degree in all 3 fields, and eventually create my own studio, which not only specializes in like movies or shows, but also specializes in video games as well, because one of my favorite things to do is play video games. He is an awesome guy. I truly love his very welcoming personality, and I love doing projects with him, especially to show. I'm always excited to show him, like, you know, the photos that I've taken to, you know, show him that I'm just impressed with myself. And working with Mr. P, he's always a pleasure to be around. And I even, you know, get to learn about Mr. P myself, and even with, and we were doing this little project where we actually used Mod Podge to basically transfer a picture onto like a wooden plaque or a wooden tray. And I noticed that Mr. P had had a wooden tray where it showed the Twin Towers before the unfortunate events of 9/11 happened. And Mr. P did tell me that he actually used to live in New York City. And I was like, oh wow, my dad actually used to live in New York City as well. And it was just so amazing to, see someone and ask someone questions about like a time before I was even existing. Because Mr. P, he taught us like a lot of history, as well as also a bunch of great techniques that are going to help us all in the field of photography.
I tell lots of stories about, the differences of growing up in the 50s and the 60s in New York City as a kid, and, being their age, about, family moving out to New Jersey and how the college experience was different out here than it was there. But also, I feel like my job is to prepare them, number one, to go out and work. Becoming a young adult, as much as you love your parents, like I love my parents, the goal was get a job, get my own place, be independent. And I try to instill that in them, along with if they want to go to college. And I tell them the stories of the experiences that I had working in the marketing and advertising industry, from graphic designer to art director to photographer, running my own business, kind of doing it all and letting them know that there are multiple possibilities, that they could take their skills and talents and use them anywhere. So it's just, encourage, and even letting them know, like myself, after 22 years in the industry, finally saying, I don't want to do this anymore. And my wife reminded me that while I was in school, one of my second majors was education. She says, why don't you go teach? Show the kids the kinds of things that you love to do. And it's like, all right, not a bad idea. And I applied for teaching jobs, and the vocational school said, we want you, come here, and kind of like rushed me through the process. And here I am now, 25 years in, and actually retiring at the end of this year, which is bittersweet. We put together a little brochure that we have that people can pick up, and it just describes the program a little bit here at the vocational school, which is three-pronged. There's photography, which is me. There is a graphic design or multimedia prong, which is Mr. Duza, kids call him Mr. D. And then we have a printing component, which is Mr. Earhart. So in the brochure, it talks a little bit about the program, a little bit about what the students learned. We have a list of all the kids that are in the exhibit, and then that little bit of information seems to have worked over the years, that people get a sense of what it's all about. And we've actually gotten a few calls over the years that people want to buy the kids' artwork. So, that's kind of a cool thing too, that the public is looking at it saying, I really like that, I want that photograph, or I want that illustration. And that's kind of neat, because then the kids get confirmation that they're doing something really cool and people are appreciating it, they want to purchase it. For me, it's an opportunity that I didn't really have when I was their age, of pushing them to get themselves out there, pushing them to exhibit their work, which is partially what the art show was about. Was every year push a kid to have the courage to submit, and then once their work is up, come to the opening ceremony, have the courage to be there, have the courage to talk with people about what you like to do, whether it's, because the art show encompasses more than just photography. We have illustration work and logo work and videos and stuff like that. So it's talk to people about your work, because especially now, the most satisfying, I would say, is that a lot of students got it. And a lot of students are either working professionally in the field for somebody, or they're working for themselves. And the beauty over the years is I get students coming back and saying, they'll call me and say, do you have any kids you can recommend as like a fourth photographer that I need for the wedding? And they're very successful in their photography businesses. And they come back and they'll talk with kids. I'll have them in as guest speakers. Most recently, I had 2 students who graduated my very first year of teaching. It's my first year here, and they were my students, and they're both very successful in their own businesses. They decided to come back and talk to the kids and do a small scholarship photo competition. So the kids have to enter a photo, they have to write, I think it was a 250-word essay to qualify for this scholarship, and then they're going to look at the images and decide which ones they want to do first, second, and third place. And that's so cool that they're coming back and giving back, and just it's a shocker to me, because when I see them and they're like, oh yeah, I was there 25 years ago or 20 years ago or 15 years ago. It's like, no, it's like you were just here like 5 years ago. I developed such a nice rapport with these kids, and a lot of them stay in touch. And the cool thing is I see that a lot of them become successful. And that's the greatest gift of all, that they're actually using their skills and they're doing things that they like to do, and they're being successful at doing it.
Support public libraries. Like, share, and subscribe for more great videos.